Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It's presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, today is December 28th, and I want to welcome you to the show. Hey, we are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and of course we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. And just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and of course you can comment live during the show on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. So leave me a comment, say good morning or something so I know you guys are here. Hey, don't forget also to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and if you'd like, you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday. Yes, we are open this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be discussing the futures update. We're going to be discussing the fact that the isolation days are shortened by the CDC. Follow the science. We're going to be talking about robot workers. We're going to be talking about the fact that New York City leaders, that is, are moronic. We're going to be talking about what millionaires have in common. And we're going to ask you if you've been sucked into the metaverse. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the fact that the child tax credit is ending. So let's get into it right now. All right, let's talk a little bit about the futures. So yesterday was a really nice day as the Dow rose over 230 points before 12, and then it finished over 350 points. The S&P also hit another beautiful, hit another record as it ended at 49.71. Look, most of the stocks were up. So I got to tell you that the travel stocks struggled a little bit, of course, with the uncertainty of the scary Omicron variant. Anyway, CCL was down over $1 at one point, but for the most part, it did stay over 21, and AAL and the other airline stocks fell, and they recovered to just a small loss. Zoom also continues to move down, and the prospect of going back to normal is kind of working on their stock. All right, so the futures right now, the Dow is up 103, the S&P is up 13, and the NASDAQ is up 83 points. And I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest reasons the NASDAQ is up 83 points is we're waiting for Apple to hit that $3 trillion mark, and I think it's going to happen today. Hey, good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Vin Productions. I'm not sure that is, but good morning. I appreciate you guys watching. All right, let's talk a little bit about isolation days. All right, most of the intelligent people in the United States and elsewhere already realize that the science of COVID prevention is completely made up and follows no real science at all, so it's no surprise that more made-up science rules are being altered. Do you remember the science behind closing all the parks and the children play areas? Do you remember the science behind having to wear a mask while being outside? Or how about the science of being or behind closing all restaurants and shopping and all real estate sales? Remember when you couldn't even buy real estate because of COVID? You know, the science behind COVID? Hey, how about this little tidbit of science? You must isolate for 10 days after being tested positive for COVID. Well, now that we have a healthcare worker shortage, and due to the healthcare workers' refusal to follow the false science about the vaccine mandates, the CDC was pressured to change the isolation time from 10 days to 7 days. What? Wait, let me get this straight. The isolation time was 10 days because that was the science. And now the healthcare workers who can put higher risk patients at risk only have to isolate for 7 days because they're needed to solve the healthcare worker shortage. So once again, the science isn't science at all. If you remember, I discussed the fact that airline workers were still subject to the 10-day isolation, and the airlines were pleading with the CDC to cut that to 5 days. And if you remember, I also said that was the reason why we had that, action this weekend, if you want to call it that. Well, guess what happened yesterday? That's right, the CDC changed their guidance on isolation for everyone exposed with COVID-19 to 5 days instead of 10 days. But wait. Just to be sure, I want you to make sure that, the CDC is brilliant because, I wouldn't want to get COVID because the CDC made a mistake. So make sure you understand that after the first 5 days, you still must wear a mask for 5 days more. Just follow the science. The science that starts with the letter M and ends with the letter Y. The science of money, which is clearly what this is all about and what's always been around. The science of money. Unbelievable. Hey, I want to say hello to Brandon. I want to say hello to Joe and Veeton. Thanks for watching, you guys. I totally appreciate it. Hey, Veeton says something funny. He goes, new science. They change the rules faster than people change their socks. I don't know. You think? Anyway, all right, let's talk about robot workers. Hey, what do you get when you have an increase of pay to $15 an hour, have to social distance, and have workers that quit because, work is just too hard? You get what's called robot replacements. And the future is here, and now we all have to live with it. The robots aren't quite like the Jetsons robot Rosie yet, but it's coming. And, we've also seen the kiosk systems at McDonald's and the other self-ordering systems, in similar restaurants. That's just the start. I mean, really, how hard is it to fill a cup of coffee and put in a creamer? I'm going to tell you right now, robots or automation will be making its way into every part of the fast food industry shortly. On some of the cruise ships, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been on a cruise ship because I won't go on a cruise ship wearing a mask. How can anybody go on a cruise ship wearing a mask anyway? Hey, have fun, but wear your mask. I mean, seriously, it's like Disney World. Have fun, but we're going to throw you out if you don't wear a mask. Welcome to Disney World. Anyway, on cruise ships, they already have the robot bartenders, and they're pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they really can't tell a good joke yet. Have you seen the robots in the grocery store? The robots that keep an eye on things, like they mop the floor, and they can even tell the managers when shelves need to be filled or refilled or stocked. There's one local one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's at the Giant. I forgot what they call the robot, but everybody knows about it. Everybody takes pictures of it now. Anyway, at Walgreens, the prescriptions are also robotically filled, and they're not hand-filled. Boston Dynamics, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this company, Boston Dynamics. It's a company that's leading the way in more human and animal mimicking robots. You may have seen some of the videos on the robot dog-like productions that they produce. It's really, really cool. Many of these are used for inspections of mechanics in areas like a high voltage or maybe high radiation that humans cannot easily access. You may have also heard of the dark side of robots with a type of robot called slaughterbots. Yep. These robots are programmed to eliminate their target using artificial intelligence to seek something or someone that the artificial intelligence thinks is a threat and then eliminates that threat. How many movies were written about this, about the artificial intelligence that takes over and destroys the world because the threat to the world is really the people? Anyway, it's coming. Anyway, the future is going to be scary, and I'm going to tell you, remember to be compliant, or you may be considered a threat. Here's another thought about Boston Dynamics. It's not a public company. That kind of scares me a little bit. For some interesting videos, I'll tell you what, go to Boston Dynamics website or go to YouTube and search for the videos. It's kind of cool. And also, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to impress you and they're going to scare you. Oh, thanks, Linda. Linda's telling me that the robot in Giant is called Marty. If you guys have ever seen it, it's kind of cool. All right. Yeah, and also Tommy's talking about robots building Teslas. That makes sense too, and I would also recommend you take a look at that. Let's talk about New York's moronic leaders. We all know that New York is the biggest hotspot for the current scamdemic known as the scary Omicron variant. Oh my! Anyway, New York used to be an enjoyable adventure with so much to see, such as tall buildings, great plays, and even great shopping. Now it's home to the scandemic because of greedy leadership. Murders are on record high, so you're not going to die from the scamdemic. You're going to be murdered, basically. And workforces are leaving the city in droves, all because of Gestapo-type leadership. Hey, look, here's another example of the stupidity that hit, the latest example of stupidity that hit the city. You guys know about the ball dropping every year to celebrate the new year? This is a great event. There's an average of 58,000 people who usually show up to ring in the new year and watch the ball drop. Well, if you're going this year, expect the Nazi-led King de Blasio to be enforcing a mask mandate for all those, yes, outside. Yes, because you're going to get COVID outside in the cold. There's something wrong with these people. Oh, and get this. The limit on the amount of people allowed to attend will be 15,000. and 15,000. So you can only get Omicron if there's 58,000 outside, but if there's 15,000 outside, you won't get Omicron. I mean, seriously, right? This, folks, is why the anagram for Omicron is moronic. First of all, we all know that the states without mask mandates have the lowest or close to the lowest incidence of COVID. I wonder if there's any science to that. We also know, well, duh, masks are useless. And finally, even if you did believe that social distancing makes a difference, do you really think 15,000 people gathered together would stop the spread? Come on. Well, come on. Look, will you all stop following the political science and actually use some common sense and some real science to realize how dumb you all are? Oh, yeah, and by the way, they're going to be saying, papers, please, as good little Nazis normally would. So you have to show your papers you show your freedom passport, right? In order to show your vaccine or your vaccine card. Look, I got to tell you, it's insane. Well, I hope the leftover people are going down to that free country that I now know as Florida this year. And, by the way, I actually saw a news report yesterday that 1,000 people a day are moving to Florida to escape New York, New Jersey, and California. I just hope they don't bring their stupid politics with them. Anyway, good for them. Maybe I should go too. I don't know, one more thing in case you didn't think the vaccine and booster is a scam. Ready for this? New York residents are being offered a $100 free gift card if they get a COVID booster shot at a city-run site before December 31st. Remember, it has to be a city-run site, not a local pharmacy, and especially not a doctor's. Oh, by the way, did you know that doctors are not allowed to give you a vaccine shot or a booster shot? Think about that one, right? Things that make you go, huh? Hey, let's take a break, and I'm going to give you some time to research that last tidbit. Go ahead, research it. See if a doctor can actually give you a booster shot or a vaccine. See you in a minute.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start. Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or you can call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. And also, hey, remember, at Investor Schooling, you will never be asked for your papers or your masks. Why? Because we believe in the Constitution as it was written, not as it was canceled. All right, I also want to thank everybody on WWDB for listening in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button, please hit that like button, and let your friends know about how you can make more money. And of course, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I will try to respond to them. Hey, I want to say thanks to Fatina. Fatina, I appreciate you watching as well. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about, by the way, actually so far we've been discussing the futures, and I want to let you know the futures right now. The Dow is up 92, the S&P is up 13, and the NASDAQ is up 86, and I really think that's because of Apple. We talked about the fact that the isolation days are shortened because, hey, the CDC is following the science. What science? We talked about robot workers who probably will need to wear masks soon anyway. We talked about the fact that New York leaders are moronic, and they probably always will be. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about what millionaires have in common. Hey, we're going to ask you if you've been sucked into the metaverse yet. We've been going to talk about the child tax credit ending and, of course, stock plays of the day. All right, let's talk about millionaires. First, the definition of a millionaire is basically having a net worth of $1 million or more, excluding your primary residence. So the net worth is a really simple calculation that is your assets, the value of your assets, that is, minus your liabilities. So being in the business of teaching people about finances, I come across people of many different financial sizes. There are also many different views on being a millionaire. Most people who don't know millionaires think that they're the flashy people with big houses and fast cars. No, they just wear fancy jackets like this, that's all. All right, others think that there are people, there are people that don't have any money problems because the millionaire will have all the money they need to buy anything they want. Well, I got to tell you, I'm going to disappoint you. Millionaires are kind of ordinary people just like you and me. Well, I'm not really ordinary, but you know what I mean. Anyway, there is, however, one distinction among millionaires that you will find. They believe that they control their own financial destiny. This, my friends, is the reality and truth. They don't wait around for others to help them or discover them. They do what they want because they find a way to do it. I wanted to be on the radio, I'm on the radio. That's what millionaires do. They do what they want to do. And it's basically they're going to find a way or they're going to do it, right? All right, so some will say it's simply saving or investing money in safe investments, such as real estate or stocks, and others will tell you that it's the movement of money, and that's basically borrowing it and investing it that will make you a millionaire, all of these things put together. The truth is, it's either both or some or either that will work. You simply need to believe it, make it a priority, and stick to what is working. Right now, there are approximately 22 million Americans who are millionaires. And if you aren't one of them, start now, and believe me, you can do it. I'm telling you right now, you can do it. All right, let's talk about the metaverse. Have you been sucked into the metaverse yet? I know I have been. So apparently, Facebook changing their company name to Meta has been a hit for the company. The stock actually rose 11 points yesterday on the news that the Oculus app was the #1 app downloaded on the Apple Store. I gotta tell you, that's kind of amazing, right? So look, if you're a fan of the show, you know that I ordered my Oculus and I entered the current version of the metaverse known as Horizon. So if you have an Oculus and you went to Horizons, you kind of know that that's basically what the metaverse is going to be. Frankly, it's kind of like 1980 video game. At least the graphics are for now, but I can clearly see this thing becoming a virtual reality. All right, of course, the current version of the Oculus is more like a toy, if you really want to know, to what's coming in the future, so expect this version to be obsolete, kind of like your Atari game was a couple of years ago, remember, right? But it's definitely fun knowing that I'm one of the first people, in the crowd to enter the world. On the other hand, there have been many devices that rocked Christmas shopping, such as Fitbit or Peloton, and they quickly fell off the radar too. So I don't expect that the metaverse is going to go away, but I do expect that this version of Oculus, or the current look of the big white blinders, is not going to be the same thing in the future. It might even be plugging your head into or connecting connectors, who knows? Anyway, if you have one, by the way, isn't it annoying that when you have to use the two-step verification to get in certain apps, so you guys know what two-step verification is? You actually get a code on your phone, right? You have to have the goggles on, you have these big goggles on, right? And then you have to go to two-step verification, and the two-step verification is on your phone. So you have to look at your cell phone either for a text message or an email, and then you have to put the goggles back on and enter the code. Ugh. You can't write it down, of course, because you can't see what you wrote down while you're wearing the lenses. Yeah, you guys will understand what I mean if you have one. It's really annoying. Anyway, some of the other major players in the metaverse are Roblox and Epic Games. I'll tell you right now, Roblox has a $60 billion dollar evaluation, and it looks like it has room to run. I just don't like the fact that the company's not profitable yet. But I would definitely consider this as a buy and hold it for now. So that might be a good play. I also think it might be a good option play in about a month. Right now, I'm not a big fan of what the chart looks like, so I'd wait about a month. Let's talk real quick about child tax credit. Real quick, I just want to say thanks to Brandon for tuning in. He's asking me a question about Bitcoin. I'm going to get to that after the next break. All right, so let's talk about child tax credit. So for many of you listening who have children, you may have been receiving up to an extra $300 a month per child from the government. Hey, This, this money was actually a tax credit that was sent to you in advance, and if you chose to take it in advance. If you didn't, you'll actually get the total, which is about $3,600 back as part of your tax refund when you file your tax refund. This tax credit was a tax credit that was originally $1,000, and it was raised to $2,000 under Trump. And of course, the Democrats had to, outdo Trump by raising it to $3,600, but they only raised it in 2021. And it was offered as an advance, so you could choose to take it that way. Well, the tax credit is being reset to $2,000 per year as of next week, unless Congress votes to continue this. Once again, this is a discussion that will affect millions who have come to count on the money, but is being used as a leverage tool for the Build Back Better bill. So basically, what's happening is now that everyone who's losing this benefit can pressure Manchin to vote on the that bill, right? So they can continue this benefit for millions. For your information, the last monthly payment totaled about $16 billion, was sent this month to more than 36 million families. So $16 billion was sent last month just to these families. I really want to know where we're getting all this money from, but hey, whatever. The socialist ideas that the Democrats are using to bribe people for votes or make people or to make people angry are absolutely frightening. Between this benefit being taken away and the unemployment free ride that was taken away and the mortgage and the rent moratoriums being lifted, most Americans who have no concept of money management are going to be hurting soon. As for me, I'll be looking to help some of them by either buying their homes or saving them from foreclosure or providing affordable housing so they can live and raise a family. And the other way I'll be helping them, and also be able to help you, is to teach them financial literacy and how to become a millionaire without the government's money. To learn more about that, take a listen to this commercial.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, I want to welcome you back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Hey, I want to say hello to Chris. Hey, Chris, I thank you for watching. And Chris said, ready for this? You ready for this? Chris heard that the quarantine period is now 5 days. Yes, you didn't listen to the beginning of the show. We talked about that already, Chris. Oh, I'm yelling at my viewers. I probably shouldn't do that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Did you hit that share button? Let everybody know what great stock plays are coming. And you can share this information. You can share it in groups. And, of course, you can leave comments on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, so it looks like the Santa Claus rally is here. Yesterday was a great day, and today the Dow right now is up 93 points. The S&P is up almost 14, and the NASDAQ is up 94, and I'm telling you why that's going to be right now. All right, and it looks like it's going to be an awesome day to continue, and we can see the futures rising, and I'm going to tell you that by the end of the day, Apple will probably hit that 3 trillion mark, and that's why the NASDAQ is right up now 94 already, right? And it's 3 points away. I might even be less at this point. So take a look at it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I also think Apple's going to hit 200 pretty quickly. And it looks like the energy stocks are starting to move up again as the fears of the scary Omicron variant are starting to calm down. So the oil companies no longer fear that demand will be going down. Now, if we could just get Gestapo Joe and Dr. Frodsky to stop talking about the fact that we're getting what used to be a cold, we might be able to have freedom again. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's the problem. They don't want us to have freedom. Anyway, the travel stocks took a pause yesterday, and it looks like they may take a pause again today, but that's not really a reaction to, flight cancellations. It's more of a natural slowdown as we saw these stocks move up very quickly last week. I'm still deep in AAL, and I'm still deep in CCL and Boeing, and I'm looking for some big moves in these stocks in January. Hey, I want to say hello to Lou watching online. And Sam Spicer's online. Sam, we talk about you on the show all the time. So it's really cool that you're watching online. I appreciate it. And look, let's also take advantage this week of the continuing Santa Claus rally and pull out some profit this week. I sold my Facebook yesterday at a really nice profit. I made something like $4,500 on one of my plays. So that was a really nice play. And if you remember, I talked about this last week. I talked about getting into Facebook. And as a matter of fact, if you're one of my students, you even got a text message talking about that. All right, let's talk about the crypto scene because, hey, we had somebody ask a little while ago about crypto. So right now, there's really not much happening in crypto land. The big players like Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of stalling out at 50,000 and 4,000. Shiba, if you guys know, Shiba Inu, I've been playing that for fun. It's at 37 millionth of a cent. But I'm looking forward to that doubling in the beginning of the new year. So why do you think it's going to double in the beginning of the new year? Here's the reason. Because I said so. Wait for it. All right, gold and silver are still in a holding pattern, with gold right around 1,800 and silver right around 23. And of course, the Treasury bond is still hovering around 1.5%. You got to watch it because this number will affect tech stocks. I'd almost bet that Apple hits 200, and then the Treasury bond pops over 1.5%, maybe 1.6, 1.7, and then all of a sudden you watch and you'll see Apple drop. Hey, by the way, did anybody out there make any money on the advice given on this show? Are you enjoying the show? If you're watching any of this on social media platforms, please leave a comment on your thoughts. And I also want to thank you for your continued support. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio. And if you want to know the truth, Sam Spicer is the reason we're on this show. So everybody online, if you see Sam, say thanks to Sam. And we're looking forward to your continued support. If you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. And you can leave comments here or on the WWDB fan page on Facebook as well. Hey, don't forget to pre-order my new book called Money Hacks, with the subtitle, Because Everything You Think You Know About Money Is Wrong. You can pre-order that on barnesandnoble.com. And as you guys know, from time to time, I own some of the assets, and options discussed in this show and the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine. And have a profitable day.